back in.
Yeah. I did not mean to do the same thing. My goodness, that is small. Okay.
Okay.
Just gonna message that she was gonna try to join in a few, but start without her.
In person, could you tell?
Yeah.
Join in a few, but it has a sound of Zoom to
It
it.
does have a sound of Zoom. Do you have different information?
No, it just says I'll try to join you. Start without me.
Thank you all. Well,
No, we're not have video either. We have audio though. That's me. No one wants that.
Owls.
Yeah, I was having a hard time today. It was working fine earlier. Hello.
Yeah,
Sure, you were gonna come back. I saw it.
yeah, no, there were a bunch of them. I think it's when I.
We should be good, even though that thing is there.
it's just muted.
To the computer instead of the
Most of them, right? Like,
owl. When the computer works, we can confirm this by unmuting this, seeing if we can hear ourselves. Hello. It works.
Okay, it's working.
It should be good, even though that thing is there.
It's just muted. It's really weird. I was hearing,
Perfect.
and I was watching myself, but the timing was off.
so you can't really tell if you're doing it or not.
Yes, it is very weird.
It's a very uncomfortable experience each month to.
Right.
use the- Interesting. Put it back. And you can also see if somebody's like kind of dozing off when you're concentrating, everything's cool, but then you can see your coworkers with.
All right, well, we do have audio. You see the little audio thing in the bottom left goes up and down when I talk, so we can confirm that. This is still like this because I think that highlights an owl problem, but we are on the computer. So just speak loudly so the computer microphone can pick it up.
Well done.
Okay, and I think we're good.
Thanks, Will. Okay, then we will convene at 2:11. And let's start with a roll call. Mr. Tracy.
All right, well, Tracy, director.
Jim McIntosh, secretary.
Tanya Rivers, vice chair.
Yes.
Erin Fitzgerald, GC member.
Harry Brown, Chair. Thank you all. Have I left anything off the agenda? Or have we? Thank you, Will, for catching my errors.
Will we go over these survey questions?
I thought we had that, right. My recollection of the discussion is the same as Jim's, that
We were just
after a
gonna
while, we
fill out-
realized it wasn't due till the end of
Oh, okay,
August.
Okay,
And so we decided to leave that off and stick to the agenda.
I just was. Yeah. Thank
I
you
had the
for
same
your
exact
information.
question. No, I had to go through that. Okay, in that case, take public comment if there is any. Does not seem to be any
No,
public comment. Jackie's not on. Jackie's just you. Okay. Old business, set annual goals with school director. And again, this is a clause in our certified administrator's contract. We are to mutually finalize an evaluation instrument and mutually establish leadership goals. So let's start with the leadership goals. And it's my hope not to lead the leadership goals discussion if Jim is able to. Or anybody else, but
Oh, sure. Well, I was just gonna bring up that I hunted down a document. I mean, it doesn't have a date on it, but it was Will's PDP. Is that germane for what we're talking about? There are very specific goals about, routines, staying in touch. They aren't overarching philosophical.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. That was one of my questions. I mean, setting the annual goals. This is goals for me for the school or for me in my
for
development?
you in your performance, I
Okay.
would say, to me, it's a performance question.
Okay,
And performance can include development.
okay.
My recollection of the PDP was they were almost mundane, maybe too specific.
What is PD?
Professional development plan.
So the other document that I would bring up that's probably much more germane, in a way, it's kind of like teaching to the test, but the test is the survey that we designed. And that survey really does list goals for, sort of generic goals for any effective leader. This was your.
Yeah, that's meant for the
email
staff.
For the staff.
Mhm.
I have one copy of, sorry, I'm talking a little bit loud. That's for the sake of the.
No, thank you.
the mic.
Doing great.
I can review these. We also probably all have them on our laptops if we have those handy. There are two,
Small.
okay, yep, there it is. Thank you.
Okay.
Is this visible to people?
Slightly big.
It is to us, perhaps not to the public.
Okay. Is that better? It's like an eye exam.
I think that's a good place to start. And just to set the stage, I think we should also start with the mission specific goals that Will sent us. Which is what the PEC evaluates the school on. One of the things.
Can I put this document in the folder for today? Is that okay?
Are you talking about his
Yeah.
evaluation document?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
okay, so it's so now it is now in the folder.
Along with the mission specific goals,
Yes,
right?
yep, which is there twice.
No, so that's part one. Sorry.
Yeah, there's two
Okay.
mission specific goals. Each one have their own document.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if it's the template that's in
Okay.
there or if it's the completed one that we did at the end of this year.
Completed.
Okay, which I think is more helpful.
Yes, but that was great.
Right. So for those who do not know, just while we're talking about mission specific goals, the mission specific goals are in the most concise language. Students' participation in experiential education is one, and students' reflection and transfer in experiential education is part two. So those are the two parts.
Former is included in this evaluation. To some level, I would say.
I'd
The
forgotten
latter
that.
is not. Well, I just, in one of the questions, one of the surveys.
So to set the context a little more about the mission specific goals, we have a charter. Quite some time ago, the charters went to having goals. And a little after that, they added, because of the charter schools, mission specific goals, where charter said we have to have something other than the regular goals that all schools have. And so we added mission specific goals. And the challenge for most charter schools is measuring those. You want to choose these goals that reflect your mission that are almost unmeasurable. And so our group, and this has been done now a number of times for renewal, maybe twice, 2 renewals. We have chosen these measurable goals. They're measurable in a subjective way because they require evaluation by teachers saying how students do on their reflections, for example. But others such as participation, attendance, things like that are more directly measurable. Anyway, that's where those goals came from. They're in our charter. and we get evaluated based on it.
We have to provide evidence,
We do.
you know, if we say something subjective, like students will spend time and deeply reflect on their experiences, we have to show journal entries or a presentation or something. So they're in some ways measured.
So here's part one on the screen. I think here you have kind of like the abstract or the, you know, the summary of what we reported for the previous school year that we just completed. And if you look at those numbers, you will see engagement is high for, this is part one. So this is our students participating in experiential ed, with the caveat that ninth grade is the only grade that is working to improve. Not in any form of, here's the rubric, not in does not meet, but is in working to meet. And that is directly related to a community orientation on Fridays.
Do we pick, or do you, who picks the percentages? Who decides that working to meet it's 50 to 74%?
We do. When we submit our application to the Public Education Commission, our application for renewal of our charter, we have to pick,
Pick those benchmarks.
and then they review them. And obviously they care about them not being too lax. And we care about them not being too strict.
Right.
So
And so for Aldo to meet the expectation for this, it has to be 75% or higher, which is, you know. And here's some, if you look at the measure, the goals and the measure of success, that can provide a little bit more context. Can people see this? It's too small.
I don't have my screen. What is FAY? Sorry to hold us up with these kinds of questions.
that's the attendance number.
Yeah.
That's how many students,
I see it in a table on the next page.
you scroll down.
Yeah,
There it
right
is,
there,
FAY.
the first column.
That's the number the number of students we had. But not all of them were tested.
Is AY academic here? I'm just wondering what FAY stands for, so it can make sense of. Oh, academic. Or you can say whatever, get over it, reverse.
I don't know.
Yeah,
No, I don't have a good answer for you either.
but it's some attendance. It's
Yeah.
an official attendance number.
I mean,
Yeah,
most interesting data is the ninth grade outlying percentage of engagement.
and so you think that this is a systemic problem related to CO, and that future ninth grades maybe are likely to suffer the same thing if we don't change CO?
I think it's possible, but that would be the simplest, you know, the reductionist approach is that it must be CO, as that is the different experience for ninth graders.
And we don't have this data for previous years because it wasn't required.
We have it for previous
It's
years.
been required, perhaps for 6 years now, 5?
Could we see it and see if other ninth grades had?
We could, I'd have to collect it from, I don't know where it is exactly. It might be in, once I stop sharing, I can look into the Google Drive. 'Cause I'm not gonna share that.
I'm curious. I know that there's gonna be changes in the ninth grade CO regardless of what we say right now, because those are already in the works. I'm just curious we have a baseline. If you have more than, 3 years of data or something, you have a baseline, and so I just wanted to see if we did.
I guess the comparison that interests me most is why the ninth grade is just like everybody else. It seems they're in the upper 80s and 90s, and we even have 100%. Does the number, the 63%, have something to do with the evaluation, the strict evaluation methods of the instructors?
Well, and so just a reminder that for the first goal, it is purely about participation and engagement.
Yeah.
Not the reflection, although you will see that 63% is represented also in the reflection. And I know that there's an emphasis as far as the rubric and grading goes for CO on the reflections, obviously. But it's no different than in any of the other. The difference is that 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade don't have a CO type experience that could potentially alter the data. So that's why one would think that that's the primary mechanism that's leading to that lower percentage.
I mean, I think it's fine to focus on the ninth grade. It seems like we need to examine where we're weakest with our mission specific goal. I get that. I just wonder,
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see what's really going on there, so we know how to correct it.
Right.
So,
I agree. I mean, I can see two other possible explanations, which is why the baseline is important. One explanation at our school, being small, you actually have statistically significant fluctuations,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We refer to certain years as difficult years,
Yeah.
and other years as divide years, right? They
Yeah.
really got the all divide. So that's one, and that, you might see if the same class carries on a low
Yeah.
percentage.
Yes.
And another potential is the transition from middle school to high school
right. Yep.
is tough for some students.
Well,
And
I think maybe even the transition, in that the middle school is its own little community and they're doing things a certain way and they're grading the journals in a certain way or doing whatever. And then in high school, the grading, the evaluation changed, has nothing to do with the kids changing. It has something to do with the way that things are evaluated.
Yep.
So there could be an alignment
Right.
there too as well.
Yeah, I think these are both totally valid. And another factor to throw into the mix is the idea that, or the reality that we have ninth graders that come into Aldo that did not come through the middle school and are not
Acclimated.
familiar, acclimated with the Friday engagement. And so then we see this with families as well, where it's on the Friday is when they set up their dental appointment
Yes.
and that's when they go to the doctor and that's when they do their things. And so there's a challenge in understanding for some folks, the value of those
Yes.
Friday experiences. And that's where I think having the shift in community orientation will potentially improve this, but I mean, you don't know. It's all an experiment. That's our hypothesis. We'll run it and collect the data. And so one of my, excuse me, Buckeyes got me on that one. One of,
I'm surprised how tough they are.
one of my thoughts with Maya Cheney, who does the bulk of the data collection on this, is that for ninth grade, we need to have more checkpoints in the year to see how the engagement is going. And so if like you get to the first quarter and you're like, oh, wow, we're at 85, 90%. Awesome. Then we need to figure out what is going on and why that's improved. And we could compare that to your point about how as students matriculate through grade levels, if that is a ninth grade cultural gap where they, perhaps don't understand or they just whatever, they're missing out on participation, experiential education. That's valuable data. So that's something that we didn't necessarily do this year, is what I wouldn't really know. And this is the first year of the new charter contract. So I think that that's one of our strategies to see what's really going on, is add in more checkpoints throughout the year so we can get ahead of this kind of situation. And you'll see here, it's about the 40th and 120th days are reporting windows also. Okay, goal one.
You want to talk about goal two then?
Let's go to goal two.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll increase the size again.
This is where we want to be. Let's go to 100%. Okay. So this data I find this is more interesting to me, because the reflections there's more student feedback on the reflections than there is on the participation, and the student feedback holds a lot of weight in my experience and what I value. So for ninth grade, when there was lower actual engagement, the reflections were still it's a higher percentage, closer to 70, but it's not, to use the language of Harry, it's maybe, that's less than 3 percentage points statistically significant. Could be, you're getting to that point there, but it might not be also. This is a helpful paragraph too.
So your part one was the reflection.
You know what? You might be right. I might have had them just conflated in my mind.
This,
No, I think, yeah. Well, I think part one is,
Yeah, you're right. Part one was reflection. Part two is, which would make more sense.
part two is.
My mistake. I just presented those wrong. Yeah, it's just my fault. My fault on that. Oh. So this is participation.
participation, oh, good catch.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good eye on that one. It's not super clear.
This is why it takes me forever to go through things. I'm always holding you guys back.
That's awesome.
Detail. So which would, we want to talk about part two, and this is participation.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, my apologies.
I don't know if we want to talk about, to tell you the truth, right? So we're
okay,
coming up with a tool and measures to evaluate.
right,
Will.
that's our goal today.
It's good to be familiar with these goals.
Gotcha.
Maybe, but I'm biased because I think something about these goals ought to be in an evaluation of a director. We want to align his incentives with the school's expectations. So to me, that.
Right.
And these are the two big ones, or these are the only two, or
These are the two mission specific ones.
two mission specific ones?
There are others that I no longer remember. It used to be the school report card.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other metrics they assess us on, but these are the two that are for Aldo.
And
You
these
know.
are the two that make the most sense to view as a lens through which to see the director's evaluation. This is the lens we want to use to,
I would disagree with that. Not that there's anything,
well, and it's a question, so, yeah,
well, I would say no that.
Okay, all right.
Because I think the other, excuse me, the other goals are more important. I think these are very important, but I think graduating from the school with a sense of your role in the community is higher. How you, if you reflect upon your journal entries, is that fair to say? Because the other goals are,
bigger and loftier.
yeah, they're loftier goals. I feel like this addresses some of those goals.
Yeah, shall we go back to that document?
Yeah, let's go back to that document. And well, I think, and just to touch on your question there, Tanya, I don't know if it's that one is more important than the other, just that these two are in addition to all of the standard assessment things. So like if you were to look at Cobra Silver, you're going to look at reading proficiency, standardized scores, map testing, graduation rates, all of those. And for Aldo, like Silver and Cobra are not looking at these two
Right.
things. And so I think that's it's not a one is more important, but it's in addition to
Okay.
that.
And I guess the reason why I'm asking these questions too is because when I was just like, okay, this is the one we're gonna talk about, and then you were like, we're not gonna talk about it because actually what we're supposed to be doing is doing a direct, and I'm like, well, then why are we looking at these? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because I believe we can incorporate those into
But not as,
the goals we will be measuring come May, whenever we evaluate
right,
December.
so we
and then-
picked those two mission specific goals for some reason, and that's why I was saying because they're the most important or something. You see my frame of think, you see where I'm
Yeah,
kind of
but,
going.
and now do you understand the answer? Why we
I
picked
think
those?
I just feel like they're not the most important, but they're the mission specific ones, and there's only two mission specific ones, and so they're the ones we have.
So the PEC we brought.
That's
We should include it,
And
but
so
I
we
still don't think it's the most. That's
Right, it's just, it
Not
should
a
be
big-
reflected in there so that we tie up the box
Yeah.
the way we're supposed to.
I don't even know about the way we're supposed to, but.
Okay, it's just what they'll
we-
want to
We
see.
could end up deciding that's not what we want in his evaluation.
Okay.
Nobody would
Yeah.
protest it if that's what we decide.
Right. But will you want to see those in the evaluation? 'Cause
Well-
because changing CO right now based on that data is kind of a big chunk of what you're gonna spend your energy on next year.
Sure. And it's connected to what Jim was describing too, of, modifying CO to provide more overt value to the students in the sense that it helps them find their place in the community rather than what is the middle school formula, which is like the introduction to what experiential education is. So making it, and also having the 9th grade community orientation be directly connected to the 12th grade senior seminar program. So like those are kind of like bookends of the high school experience. So, who am I and how do I fit into the world as a freshman? And then as a senior, okay, now we're taking that next step. So you have to have those key markers in the journey. And so that's important to me. And it's all tricky for a school like Aldo, because you're trying, it's qualitative data that you're trying to quantify. And so that's tricky. It's very like human relationship stuff.
But so big picture wise, though, it's important for us to be grounded in those mission specific goals because that has become a priority of yours. I think that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
A priority
totally.
of yours to help the school, reach the other big goals. This is the mechanism
Exactly.
we're gonna use to reach these bigger goals.
Exactly.
Which I hear are really the ones that are really important.
Yeah, it's kind of a prerequisite. If you're engaging in experiential education, you're reflecting on experiential education, odds are that's going to help you achieve in algebra 2. So that's, yeah, I think that's a good lens to look at it through.
Now it's making more sense, because we came in and. Yeah, thinking of, I was old, but now I'm good.
All right, now we got another potential tool. I mean, maybe we end up with this, but
Can I
Yeah.
speak to the way this was developed?
please do.
We took, this happened a while ago. This is free will. Supposed to free will. Alex and I adapted a survey. And then we kind of messed with words. This isn't the way I write. It isn't. I would write more colloquially, but this is like a little bit of educationally is in there, but it's got a foundation. And I felt like it covered honestly most of the things that I think are important, but not all the things. And I'm saying I'm not attached to this if we want to add to it. Like, I think personal integrity is enormous. Like in my friends and leaders of organizations that I moved in, I mean, and I don't know if this reflects that in a specific way. So please add to it. But this is an Alex, Jim, and educational needs document. So tweak it.
And I'm kind of just getting to the email stream on this one. That was sent. And so is this the one that I used to make the Google thing?
So some version of that.
Okay, okay.
I basically took the last version that
Hold on
Alex
to.
sent out most recently, and there are a few things that I felt we needed to rearrange. It's not a radical change, but I think it's important.
Yeah, I'm just like following the email
Oh.
stream now. It's like,
Alex is here on the Zoom for the record.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I am here.
Hi, Alex.
Good to
Hi,
hear you.
everyone.
Where are you physically?
Nantucket Island.
Hot dang.
Enjoy the cobblestones.
Yeah,
Enjoy the heat and the smoke.
the smoke is intense, but
where's the smoke coming from?
Canada.
Yeah, and Boundary Waters area. Yeah, darn it. Yeah. Boreal forest is burning.
Like 687 fire or something died around 95.
Great air quality is over 500. Insanely good.
Okay, so I think this is what you're looking for, Tanya. I figured we could get ahead of some of this discussion here by looking at the previous dialogue that had occurred where I provided some thoughts on the language that Jim was alluding to in the assessment. For example, like this was one of the questions, this is one of the prompts on the survey, and I thought that was like too difficult to take that much information and put it into a 1 to 10 kind of measurement. So these are some of that was some of my.
I think I split that question in two.
Looks like it'd be too.
Yeah.
Well, and so on the survey.
It got changed,
It
right?
got, it
Right.
has been changed, so we wanna pull up this,
Yeah.
so I don't know if the survey is going to morph into our. GC evaluation of the director, is that what we're thinking?
I'm thinking it'll contribute to it.
Well, and they should be relatively aligned.
Okay,
Well, I feel like last time we talked about, it was still really valuable to have that conversation.
Mhm.
That's super important.
It's just fine.
Super important. Yeah, because you gotta have both. I think, because again, it's like the same problem with the mission specific goals of it's a very qualitative experience that you need to turn into some kind of quantitative data. And so the survey serves that purpose very well. But I think for the sake of the governing council's understanding, if this was to be a different group of people, to have that hour, 45 minutes, whatever dialogue about how things went in a more open and, you know, ask questions and get feedback, that would provide more insight than you would get from a 1 to 10 and, or 0 to 10 and comments. But both are, I think you need to have both.
And is it appropriate to have parents, because this survey went out to just parents?
Went out to-
Parents, staff, adults.
There is, I'll go back to the thing. There's one for students
Okay,
and families. And you could, that was the one where we decided that for families, they needed to say, they need to provide their contact info. The one for the staff, we left anonymous so that you could,
but they were the same questions on,
no, they're slightly different.
okay.
I'll
I
pull them
get-
both up, we'll compare.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think, do we need to have a GC one?
Ideally, I would agree with that because there's certain things that I'm not gonna know about how Will interacts with students. I know a little bit from going to commencement and a couple of public events, but I really don't know that.
No,
Well,
I'm
looking at that survey that we were doing, there were a lot of things that was like, I don't feel comfortable answering.
the PEC survey, right?
Yep.
So I believe that's what we're doing today.
Okay, great. So again, like, I don't know why I can't remember. I've already had this conversation, but I just don't remember. So this is super helpful so that I can be efficiently and helpful. So what we're trying to do is make a third survey that is for the GC. So we have a students and family survey, we have a staff survey, and then we have a GC survey. So right now, would it be okay if I just copy whichever one is closest to the one for the GC? I just want to copy it and start making the GC survey right now.
And
Can I
then
do that?
adding the 2 mission and vision goals to that survey.
So let
Adding
me.
some other things,
Yeah,
I think.
Can I
yeah.
do that?
yeah, totally.
Just to get
The-
this.
So,
Alex says
The-
something.
go ahead, Alex.
The only difference for the GC survey was the question about financial responsibility, as I recall.
Yeah, this one
They're,
right.
they're
here,
the
number
same,
7.
they're essentially the same, but we added that for the GC
Hmm.
only.
So there is a GC,
So does Tanya have
Yeah.
something she should grab rather than,
this is the GC one.
This is the GC one?
Based on
and you
what's
have
on
that,
there.
Tanya?
I have something that looks similar to this that I made into these Google surveys.
So I think, yeah, you
And
just,
so what I'd like to do is take all that work that I already did to transform the one that's similar into a Google survey, copy the Google surveys that I have, call it GC survey and add the one question that's different. Does that sound like it's gonna work?
Doesn't, it sounds inefficient. We've gone from A to BC, and now you want to combine BC and try to go to A prime instead of why not just start with A?
Well, that's what
So
that's
this
why I
is
wouldn't
A.
copy it.
this is,
Bingo, so take this.
But then I have to split all these questions apart again.
Let's take a look at it.
Oh.
You see what I mean?
was
I
not
already-
contemplating the
Yeah, you can
technological
very
part.
easily just copy it.
Yes, I can just copy it.
That's what I wasn't brought.
do it. Do it. Well, and I,
So, I just wanna,
Would it be better to copy the staff one or the students and families?
well, let's look. I think
Which
the
one is most closely?
staff one is more robust.
Okay,
The student one is more, it's simplified for students.
Okay.
Perhaps.
this section
I-
does.
Sorry, I don't understand. Don't we have a GC one?
Yes, thanks, Alex. That's exactly where I was going. But it's not in a Google Docs format. And I'm about to come back to that. So hang on, see if what I ask makes sense to you. We are doing more than just coming up with a GC survey. We're coming up with a director
Process.
evaluation tool. The tool is part of the process. There will be other things besides using this tool probably, but we want the tool. I don't know why we need to have that in Google Docs.
okay,
As far as I'm concerned, a hard copy would be easiest.
like if we just did just like this.
Yes, exactly. And then we got together with Will and we went over what we scored.
Okay.
In which case you don't have to do all that.
No, right, exactly.
And
That
we
was
can
my
use-
misunderstanding. I thought we wanted another Google survey. That's what I was.
Does that mesh with what you,
That's what I did, just
Yeah.
to test it out. basically.
Alex, does that make sense to you?
As far as I can tell, I don't really know what you're all looking at right now. So as far as I can tell,
Here,
I
I'll,
think it's the document that you are about, that you and Jim have worked.
I'll show you, Alex. I'm gonna share my screen. It's this document.
And you have changed this the academic year?
I didn't change it.
I did that.
Jim has changed
I
it.
did that. Just, yeah, and I separated a couple questions.
For today's meeting.
So this, if we want to make any changes, we can just make them to this document.
As long as that's agreeable with Alex, because
Yep.
this is a slight editing of what we worked on together, just
Yeah.
because she was on vacation. I didn't want to.
yeah, I mean, we could get rid of the numerical grading system and it's fine, right? So we can have,
Likert scale even, I mean, either one. I think
or
it
just
tends-
comments.
Or we go to the four, so the contract calls for evaluations with 4 levels,
Right.
right? Unsatisfactory, needs improvement, satisfactory, and distinguished. And since that's in the contract, even though you're not a huge fan of those 4, I feel like this tool should reflect the contract.
Do you want me
Hmm.
to put, I'm looking for things to do apparently.
I see you.
Do you want- I know.
You're on that thing.
I know, I'm like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Sort of the
This is
test tool.
Caffeinated or something.
Have more Buckeyes.
Right, I'm just wondering, can I be? So do we want to just add those 4 words instead of the 1 through 10?
I believe so.
I think that would make sense. And that's, so those 4 words is the same, if maybe marginally different for the teacher assessment formula.
And then
Yeah,
you
there's one
circle.
difference.
One difference, yeah.
Can you say what they are again? I'll just put them in here to hold space. We can change it back if we want to.
Jim would like to say something first.
Real quick, sorry.
Sure.
So this is just a thought because it's on some teacher evaluations. I remember the top category was exemplary. And I like that because it means you're setting an example. I know that like distinguished just sounds like somebody's at the end of their career. And I would give Will very high ratings. That's just a
But you would
weird
never
number.
call him distinguished.
But this
This is where you're coming from.
I don't know, it's a.
Way too much mud.
Yeah, this is what, oh no, it's still a little different for the teacher. The teacher one, I think, is not demonstrating, applying, innovating. Innovating is the highest level you can get as a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's those 4 levels, and there's only one of them has a potential negative connotation in the teacher assessment, and this is all via the Elevate platform. So I think it would be helpful for the governing council to stay compliant with the state requirement to use the Elevate platform to keep what Alex is describing, which is the comments, which I think have a lot of merit, but instead of having the 0 through 10 as it's described, use the 4 pieces of language as described.
Is it the 4 that are in the contract or the 4 that are on?
Let me see if I can compare. and-
They're right there. Is those 4 innovating, applying, developing?
That's for teachers.
No, this is
Oh,
this is the site administrator
You've
one.
got the admin, excellent.
Yeah. We can add distinguished though.
Innovating,
Yeah.
applying, developing, minimally demonstrate.
Should I use those?
That's the difference I was remembering.
So,
Minimal.
Minimally demonstrate.
right, because an administrator cannot be not,
Can't fail completely.
Yeah.
Apparently.
that's funny.
If consistency is important, I can live with those. I don't want to quibble over some semantics.
Well, we've messed our own consistency up by having this contract language, so
Okay.
next year
We'll
we'll
just
try not to do that.
Yeah, we'll amend that.
But I think it makes more sense to adopt this,
Mhm.
partly because
So-
I haven't done this yet, and maybe I should have. I think maybe I'm supposed to enter something in Elevate about you. Am I?
Perhaps,
I'm not sure.
I don't know. The rules are different for charter schools. Like I use the Elevate platform this year because all public schools in Mexico are supposed to. Aldo had never, from my knowledge, never used that historically. And when I submitted it, I told the PED, here's the teacher evaluations for all of our teachers. They said, thank you, you didn't need to do that. You could have done your own thing because you're a charter school and you can say you use your own system. And so what I am doing is I use my own classroom observation form and my own data collection. And then at the end of the year, when we have the annual performance evaluation with all of the staff, then I take that, have the conversation and put in the Elevate information with the teacher. So I'd sit there and be like, to use the administrator one, vision and goals. Here's what I saw, here's what I think, what do you think? And then we would talk about it and come to a mutual agreement. And so I think for the GC and the director, a similar model would work potentially.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
So we,
Keep nodding except for Tanya,
Cause I'm working, cause I'm putting it in
but you're
a
happy.
document right now. Sure.
That's.
I'm sorry, yesterday's were so much.
Do you want me to switch?
Well, I mean, it's like that on there, but just why, why
We
would
can,
it be?
we can switch it to whatever.
Meaningful question, what is that?
Oh, just why it starts with best and goes.
Oh,
Tell me now.
Tell me
Tell me now.
doesn't matter, I agree,
Okay.
we should be able to handle it either way.
I just, in my mind, was trying to make innovating bad and was like, that feels like a positive thing. Why? It was like, oh, minimally demonstrating.
well, and then so I think if we add some of, or we make sure that in the GC evaluation tool, we include the key things that the PED would like to see,
Right.
then you're making it easier on yourself, right?
We just say how well you did on practice A, B, C, and of a D, is it a D?
There's a, yes, D is culture and safety. And there's even an E,
Personal
personal integrity. You know? So that would make things easier. So you could take this document and divide it into A, B, C, D, E, and then put in a couple of the prompts like this, go through them, respond with whether it's innovating, applying, developing, or minimally demonstrating, and then you're following the PED's requirement by keeping the comment thing in there. That's what I find to be enriching and valuable. And we keep the discourse, our whatever meeting conversational approach as well. And then I think you're getting to a pretty good evaluation tool because you want to have multiple different strategies.
And under each, like, C talent, you would put maintain systems for identifying, developing, and relating a diverse educator workforce, like, to be put.
Or something of like, yeah, like,
Otherwise, there's a lot under.
right. And so that's the task of someone is to take, so if we're looking at C talent, how do you take these three prompts, maximizing talent, evaluation, and professional learning, and put that into a question that you can have on your governing council evaluation tool?
Are we doing that today?
So,
I think Tanya said she's gonna do it.
Want to do it. And then when?
so Alex, can I ask you a question about our history of working on this? I mean, I got to admit, it's pretty dang vague right now. Were we using a tool similar to this in like some other year's version of a director eval, and we use that language to create this document? And are we simply putting the hipper, newer language into a new survey?
Well, so we didn't use the specific tool, document that we're looking at right now. But I'm looking at the 2024 evaluation on my phone. And there's a lot of language that we worked on really hard. Like, I don't know that Tanya has to take that and sort of try to rewrite it. I feel like it's already been rewritten, to suit our school.
That's my memory, but I just wondered what we use as a basis. I mean, it seemed like we used our own sensibilities about an original survey is my sense of it.
Yeah, we had several source materials.
Yeah.
We had an evaluation from another charter school. We had, I
Yeah.
can't remember them all, but we sort of created an amalgamation of them all.
Yeah.
And I can resend that, what I'm looking at, to everybody. I don't know if it's going to be helpful, but I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel.
Is it different than what we were seeing on the screen when Will had your tool up? That one right there?
I got to scroll back to the screen. Yes, it's different from that.
Well, then do send it.
This was the one that we created for this year
Yeah,
for
yeah.
expedience. But yes, we had a Google Docs one that was, it has exemplary, satisfactory, needs improvement, reasons for rating. And they were broken, and each of these categories were broken out into, 1A, 1B, 1C kind of questions.
So that's an older document then.
Yeah, it is an older document, but it's
That's fine.
similar to what, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want, I sent it to you. It looks like, I can resend it right now, but it looks like I sent it to you in April.
April. Okay, I'm looking back through. Was it on your Gmail or Aldo email? Do you remember?
Gmail.
All right, I'll find it. April.
Or I could just
Here we
forward
go.
you the,
I got it. Here it is. There's a better way to open
Oh.
it. Maybe I'll try pushing this, see if this helps.
I remember that.
Oh, well, this is a Google.
Yeah, Alex did that.
Excellent.
I think Jim did it, but I mean, we wrote it, but Jim put it up.
My bad. Didn't know you could do that, Jim.
I just Googled
Jim-
something else.
Jim didn't know he could do it either.
Oh. I use it with my kids.
They're very cute.
We just came all around.
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
This is
conform.
still a video.
It's like the salmon.
In fact, I feel like dying. Well, okay, you know what? I feel like I'd rather stick with what we developed.
The paper one.
No, I'm thinking of
Oh,
this
that one.
one, not, so the paper one was out of expediency.
Right.
Because last year we kind of messed up, I messed up,
Okay,
we didn't get on it early enough.
gotcha.
This year we have the time. You guys already put in the work. I don't know, just glancing at it as he scrolled through, admittedly not carefully. It felt like you were covering a lot of broad things I would like to cover. And
it
I'd
has
rather
in
do
common.
this than use what the PED had, because when I was reading the PED one, it was like, kinda, not exactly us at a few points.
That's fine by me.
Well, let's read through it and if you guys are in agreement, let's not look at 4 different iterations.
But you're okay starting with this one as a
Fine.
sort of,
Okay.
this one has to fail for us to go elsewhere.
I
Alright.
don't have to add the word.
No, we don't have to. That's right.
Can you share the link to that? Just quickly forward that email so then I can open it, because I can see it better on my computer too. And then if we're gonna read through it together now, I like to scroll at my own pace because I'm a very slow reader.
You didn't just get it right there?
I know, you're like,
Yeah,
looks
very,
good to
very.
me.
Aldo or WMU emails?
Aldo's fine. I'm logged into there.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Oops.
There it is.
Aldo? Might as well just get the whole.
Yeah. So this link will just, I won't be able to edit, right? We're just looking at it and somebody else has the editing privileges. Okay.
I don't do Google.
Well, just do it. You can just copy those. Then you've got an editable
Here it
version. I
is.
see that all the time.
Do we want to edit in real
I
time?
think there's a chance.
Okay, so,
I'm-
Yes, I must be, the problem is Alex probably is the one who has the ability to edit it, who probably owns the document.
Right.
No,
If
I think it's Jim.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Jim, okay.
okay, because I don't even know if I can make a copy of it from
Right.
the,
Jim, can you log on?
Yeah, Jim can go on there and add an editor.
Yeah, would you please add timing rather than do it yourself? From a meeting standpoint, the meeting manager, I want her busy.
Real quiet.
I have something to do.
What?
I don't know how that, I remember anyone being busy editing some stuff. Maybe Tanya can multitask better than I will.
Right now.
I don't. Would you be willing to scroll down the category?
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry, it's fine, perfect.
I don't. to do with?
Oh, for Aldo, it's up there on the.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you're already in. Maybe you
Great.
should see.
Nice job, you
Okay,
guys.
perfect.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
I like that.
I like it too. We're gonna go on to category 2.
Will, can you share your screen? Just,
Oh, sorry. Yep.
I mean, otherwise I'm scrolling back and forth here and.
Yeah, nope, fair enough. All right, so we're on category 2. We just looked at this one with no requests for modification.
Cool. Looks good. I mean, fine. Thank you.
So if there's, like, I was imagining that survey that you were looking at before, and talking about questions that we can't, that I couldn't answer as a board member, because I just don't know about the day-to-day enough. So,
Alex, I believe Aaron's referring to a survey that the PEC sent out.
yeah, so just in looking at like, interacts and engages with staff and students regularly, including in the classroom, on campus, and PLS, imagine like us using this as an evaluation. How would we know that to then talk to you about it?
So I think one of the pieces of data that would help the governing council understand that is the feedback from staff on their survey. So the governing council gets the staff survey and they say like, you know, we never see Will in the classroom or in the field or whatever, or we see him there all the time, or whatever it is, that would give you a good idea. And, you know, I think there's always the challenging to fit into people's schedules, but you know, you can all like governing council members can always show up and do a spot check at any time too, and make your own assessments also. Yeah.
There was a thought where I was like, oh, it's a GC member, I would love to see it, these things, and
So
how
I want to get you.
a GC member, yeah,
So
then
if you
be more
So if you just.
active and engaged, so we can.
Yeah.
I can't hear Erin very well.
Sorry.
There are two conversations happening.
Okay.
I was just saying, from this survey that you it's been shared, but not the one that we're looking at right now. What, I'm sorry, what is it from? It, not PED.
This?
No,
Right
no,
here?
what?
Yeah, no, PEC.
PEC. There are a lot of areas I couldn't answer because I'm just not sure about like the day-to-day and those interaction with staff and students. But it was a good reflection for how a GC member could participate more to better understand those areas and answer them. And that's what Will was recommending.
Yeah. Okay. I heard Will. Thank you.
Okay, going on to category 3.
Good evening, Crystal.
What's Crystal's last name with my minutes?
It's a hyphenated Norero
Ariana.
Araya.
Any comments on category 3?
Give me one time.
I think this, I got several.
Okay.
Through the NM dash process. Is that still a relevant clause?
As I recall, that was something that we
Yeah.
needed to have to refer to.
Yeah, but the PED is, goes through fads. And I just don't know if this is still de modo or not.
Yeah, we still do use NM dash.
Okay,
Merit and value of that is up for debate.
But that's a fair way to evaluate you, of what it says there for 3.3,
That's fine. I think
because I wouldn't expect you to use the dash process to develop, communicate, and implement a vision.
No, and that's
for
one,
improvement.
to Aaron's point earlier, I mean, the PED would be the only folks that could answer that question. It'd be tough for the governing council
You
to
would have to be
know.
using dash.
Yeah, you don't have access to NM dash. So I think if you just removed the through NM dash process and just made it said, develops, communicates, and implements a collective vision of comprehensive school improvements, that would be appropriate.
Works for me.
got it.
Jim, we were at the first point in time where we want to make an edit. Are you in shape to do that?
Tell me which question.
3.3,
Okay, let me just pull it.
So 3.4, there's like a random parentheses. Average analyzes and uses ALCS parentheses.
just give them a chance to catch up. It's okay.
So I see.
Oh, no, that's
instructional
okay.
Performance indicators,
Yep.
directors, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Where are we looking?
3.3,
We're gonna remove the highlighted section on the screen.
That was a requirement before, and that's why we.
but the point has been made. No, we don't have access to dash. We couldn't effectively answer that question.
So that was a little bit out of the conversation, so.
No worries,
I bet
you
you-
guys. Yep. And then, Aaron. what
It's
we-
interesting when I look just on here, like on my screen, and I click this, what comes up is different.
Can you pass me some handles when you have a chance? Thank you.
So the comment I made, not relevant to when I click the button.
And what's on the screen here
That matches.
is the same as this. Okay,
So, and just so everybody's aware, I'm making a 2026 version of this. It is not this one, it's a completely different form.
2027.
Okay, 2027, yep, sure. 2027. And so I'm not editing the one that we're seeing, I have a new one that I'm just copying and
Well,
pasting.
no,
everything.
and this is Will's computer anyways, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but if I had, yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, we're good.
Anything else for category 3?
So are we gonna have, I can't remember the categories that are coming, but Jim might. Is there much on facilities in what's coming?
No.
No,
So this category 3.5 maybe? Yep, refers to facilities design processes. Feel like
I think it might be important to keep that for at least this year.
Well, I wasn't just talking about keeping it, Alex. I think this year facilities is so important. It would be appropriate to have a whole separate category for moving to Jose Barrios.
At the very, I mean, I agree with that, or at the very least at 3.7, that's just.
At the very least.
Yeah.
I mean, that's beyond instructional leadership. What Will did to bring us to where we are now, I would never call instructional leadership. I would have called that facilities management or bureaucratic skills or something.
Yeah, maybe it might fit best under organizational
Yeah.
management,
Yeah.
Okay,
which is the
Oh,
last,
there's
yeah.
6.3. Also mentions facilities.
So maybe we need 6.4.
I think that's the best place for it.
That would be, yeah, I don't know what the exact language would be, but something more about,
I would
Yeah.
replace 6.3 with what we're talking about,
what?
rather than
Okay.
add a 6.4.
Right, let me
Because that's way
catch
too
up.
general.
Yeah,
Okay, let me catch up to
Yeah,
six and then I'll.
I think that's actually, that's appropriate. Meeting all the, apples.
I just.
But really good to get.
There's just six, yeah. That you just closed, there's a shortcut key.
I don't know.
Um,
Oh, but control, or yeah, control, apps.
New tab, but I was thinking about one that I just closed and I wanted
I
to
do.
You
Yeah.
also go to history.
Yeah,
What's everyone doing?
I just got back from refilling my water bottles.
Oh, sorry, I'll take you off. Well, Tanya is actively editing this document with our modifications to each category. So far, we're now on category 4. Anything we'd like to change here? On the screen? I like the word manifest.
What's that?
We were trying to vary the verbs.
Very good. Well. You guys done an excellent job on that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we're saving this good work.
And so. Back to the mission and vision as two goals.
Might talk about it with Alice.
The two mission and vision
Specific.
related or specific goals that we looked over at the beginning of the meeting. Will those then potentially be added to this?
Let's keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
I
good
think it
thought.
would fit best under category 3, instructional leadership.
I agree.
And maybe if we just add a 3.6 or 7.
So like 3.1 could almost, you
Yeah.
could add to that to include the mission specific goals. Sets
Um,
priorities for improving student outcomes.
Not just mission specifically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The non-specific, the ones that apply to all schools, also focus on improving student outcomes.
Mhm.
A lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to specifically include the mission specific goals, it could say sets priorities for improving student engagement, reflection, and general educational outcomes. And then you would have the 2 mission specific goals, which is the engagement, participation, the reflection, and then all by saying other general educational student outcomes, that would incorporate all of the other
I
pieces.
like that. I like getting the word reflection in there. I don't think it
I
tracks
would like
from
it to say,
goals and engagement is also important. It's like, that's the first step in all this. These guys gotta like you.
Yeah, and I like engagement more than participation too.
Yeah.
'Cause that's different.
engagement in and reflection on experiential education.
Yeah.
Well, you had 3, you had
It's specifically
3.
experiential education that we're talking.
Right.
Yeah, Yes. Yeah, I got you.
So engagement,
So-
reflection, and experiential education, and I think you have to, because I do want to keep the. Yeah,
So
the
it should be separate.
could,
like a new category or.
Or just if we got to be the main.
If we need to use this survey to illustrate that we met the mission specific goals, maybe your idea of having a separate we would refer you to 3.2 in our survey and say, this is how we are measuring or giving you data. I don't know. It's just consideration.
So. I think originally we were talking about putting comma after outcomes and saying including those things. I think that would be my preference to do it that
Yeah.
way.
Okay,
Is that all right?
Yeah,
yeah.
I like keeping that full statement.
Yes.
And that's three.
Yeah,
3.1.
3.1.
Put a comma after outcomes.
For improving student outcomes, comma,
Including
including
engagement in and reflections on experiential education. That work? So, Alex, are you able to follow all this?
Yes, I am, and I'm in agreement.
Awesome sauce. I love Ford.
I think four is
Doesn't need a change. I don't know.
good as is.
I know there's nothing in there about testing our attention with colors. I like it now.
Last one for me. Cover.
Ooh, the next challenge is for the governing council to anticipate what the future color will be.
That's more interesting.
Then you guess.
What kind of,
That becomes like cryptographic.
Exactly.
kind of day is Will having? Is it a lavender day?
Yeah, how's the month been? That's the theme, is what's the theme of the month? You'll notice in the winter, there's a lot of shades of blue and gray.
I like 5 personally.
Well, it took me a long time to realize the folder counts for the of the meeting.
Yes. It's all connected.
Do you realize that, Harry? Your mind just blocked.
There's something dripping from Aaron's ears. It's just blue.
This is,
There's levels, levels to the.
That's
Any modifications to category 5?
So just a mechanical matter, with the way this Google form is set up, it's been a long time. Is there room and ability for us to write comments, that being the most important thing?
Yeah, underneath each one.
Okay.
I'm putting, like, that's how it was on the original form. There was a comment section, so I just
Yeah.
state that.
What I have doesn't look like that, so I was just making sure,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
reasons for me.
moving on to 6.
Uh, Yep.
What do you? Is that something the director needs to demonstrate?
What's that?
Sound budget,
I agree
one?
with the budget management, but I don't agree with the other things. It seems like you're responsible for making sure it happens,
Uh-huh.
but not that you yourself demonstrate it. Especially
Like
account
managing.
auditing
Okay,
Yeah, so you could change demonstrate to ensure,
ensures.
ensures, yep,
Steward sound budget management.
yep,
I like it.
yeah.
okay.
Jackie would have to demonstrate.
Exactly. Right.
Jackie demonstrates you. What was the word we just chose?
Ensure,
Ensures.
Just like the liquid diet will all be on in a few years. So. The mom went through
Aaron.
many cases in her last few years.
I suppose if ensures doesn't sound right, it could be oversees or monitors.
Well, in some ways, I like ensures because the buck stops,
Okay.
pun intended with.
Yeah, I agree. The buck stops with him. It's gotta,
Certainly not with us.
He doesn't.
Well, then he should guarantee. Maybe it should be guaranteed.
I don't know if I can do that.
I want you to do that. That's right. Any discrepancy will come out of his savings account. I like it, insured.
Okay.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay.
And then the only question
Sure.
is whether or not 6.3 needs
Yep.
elaboration.
Let's replace 6.3, and this to me is a challenging one, but somehow you collaboratively collaboratively develop a vision for the use of our new space and effectively implement that vision, something along those lines.
You know what's interesting about that one is it's absolutely apropos for what went down in 25, 26. Because that's exactly what happened. I mean, I'd give you an 11 in that category, dealing with all those organizations around town and the school. And
But it's also not over. Like,
it's not over.
It's
Yeah, it's, yeah.
very new. That you need to do.
Yeah, it's, I mean, you could almost retain demonstrates knowledge of school facilities and develops a process to ensure the completion of necessary improvements required by the PSFA in an effective educational environment or something like that.
I
Do we
like
wanna
that.
be that specific? Do we
Do-
wanna be that specific about the upcoming year? Yes, or we wanna keep it more general?
You could do a little bit of both, probably.
I want to be specific about the upcoming year.
Okay,
I don't necessarily need to be specific about the PSFA
Yeah,
requirements,
that's,
for
but
example.
those last three words that you had in there that about something educational environment.
Yeah,
So it develops,
yeah.
Those need to.
Do we want, what happened to the language we were gonna take out of 3 and
That-
put,
I don't think there was language we were gonna take out of 3.
no, and I think that this is actually okay because this is,
That's the dash.
right, this was
Oh, is
removed.
that what you're talking about? With dash?
no, no, I'm talking about 3.5.
Right, right. I think we decided not to try to make that fit in 5 or 6, whatever we're on.
Even though there is the facilities design processes, which is,
Yeah,
that's where we were focusing. That still is, right? So-
Yeah, and that is
yeah, that's true.
sort of instructional leadership in the sense of, you know, designing and planning for the facility to have outdoor classrooms and, you know, support CTE and things like that. These things that were student leadership, trip planning and gear issuing and de-issuing, all of that is part of is kind of covered here and I think is more instructional than it is managerial. Like this last section, I would think something along the lines of demonstrates knowledge of school facilities and develops a process to ensure necessary improvements occur to maximize the student learning experience or something like that. And if you remove student learning experience, that would be fine. But a process to ensure necessary improvements are completed is much more managerial than it is instructional. Of
Yeah.
like, when are we gonna fix the roof?
Right.
When are you going to make the new parking lot? That's. Right, yeah, you could be a non-educational, you could, that's like a management task.
I would feel comfortable with that. Wording very similar to that and,
can I read what I have?
yeah, oh, yeah,
What I
go,
apart
sorry.
from our conversation, so. I have demonstrates knowledge of school facilities and develops a process to ensure necessary improvements occur to improve educational environment.
I like it, except.
How
for
about maintain?
Oh, maintain, yeah. I like
Maintain.
Demonstrate.
enhance.
enhance.
Manifest.
School facility develops a process to ensure necessary improvements occur to enhance educational environment. To what, the educational environment?
Support
Support
the educational environment.
the educational environment. I can read it again. Ready? Demonstrates knowledge of school facilities and develops a process to ensure necessary improvements occur to support educational environment.
Okay, I don't know, I'm being nitpicky, but
Please do.
that's the problem with going over stuff like this. I don't expect you to develop a process for that. That's underway.
Yeah,
I expect you
maybe ensure is the right word again.
to accomplish it.
Accomplish, yeah.
What was the word?
Develop a process.
Oh,
I don't care if you.
What if it said and ensures that necessary improvements occur?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be as basic as that.
Say it again.
Demonstrates knowledge of school facilities and ensures that necessary improvements occur or are completed.
demonstrates knowledge of school facilities and ensures necessary improvements
That ensures that.
of. Ensures,
That they are completed or that they are accomplished.
demonstrates knowledge of school
Associated
facilities.
Press
and
Trading Temple, jet that.
Demonstrates knowledge of school
Yeah.
facilities and.
Ensures that. It goes right there.
You should know that.
I am looking over.
I vote against that. I oppose that.
Ensures that.
No, that has to.
We don't want against that.
Demonstrates knowledge of school facilities and ensures necessary improvements. To support the educational environment.
No, I'd just say, and it ensures necessary improvements are completed,
Nice.
and then it's just done.
Completed is very good.
Yeah, completed is good.
Nothing about supporting the educational.
No, because that's the
Right.
instructional part.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Now, I heard the word collaboratively. I wrote it down. Do we want to put that in there somewhere? Second from you.
Came from me, I take it back.
Oh, and originally it has this bit about internal and public support for facility needs, which was really important this year, but next year maybe not as much.
Yeah, because I mean,
That's right.
to be completely candid, our internal and public. So it's not it's what the state requires us to do. And then the section 3.5, that would, I would say, de facto include internal support, because if you're using facilities design processes to support teaching strategies and desired student outcomes, that's a teacher stakeholder thing of like, hey, we're going to put it out to our classroom. Should it go here? Should it go there? What should it have bleachers, sun cover, whatever. And that would include that part about internal and public support. And yeah, we've done the public support things.
So there were only 6.
I like it.
Okay,
I think it's good.
can I just mention, so on the one that I'm working on. Since I was just cutting and pasting things, I just, instead of having reasons for rating. I have category 6 organizational management comments, but if we prefer reasons for rating, I'll just switch it back to reasons for rating.
Okay.
I don't
I
care.
like comments actually, now that I think
Yeah.
about it.
Okay.
Because I might want to say something that isn't a reason for the rating.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, comments is good.
Okay, and then, but we want exemplary, satisfactory, needs improvement. Those are our 3. Or do we want to go back to the 4 that are written in the contract? Well, okay, so there's another, we have 3, it sounds like we have 3 choices for our buttons, right? We can keep it as it is, do the innovating, which comes from the thing,
Yep. Elevate.
and then your thing.
So my answer to why I don't like the innovating for something like integrity, you don't innovate integrity. So I would cut, I don't think it fits.
You like exemplary.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like
like this.
exemplary.
Yeah, it's simple. Useful.
What were the other ones? Implementing,
Applying,
applying.
I'm implying
Kind of
integrity.
demonstrating.
I'm getting there, okay.
demonstrating minimally.
All right, then I'm happy with these 3.
Me
Okay,
too.
and it's okay that it doesn't match the contract, and next time we will make it match.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Especially if people help me remember.
And we don't need an other button, like you get to pick, like you can put innovating if you want.
You can just write that in your comments.
Okay.
Well, let's innovate as well.
Okay. All right.
All right, are we good with this document for now? Okay.
One other process question. I'm making each of these questions mandatory, which means you can't get away with not putting something in comments. Is that okay with everybody, or would we prefer it to be completely optional?
The comments?
Comments should be optional.
I
Okay.
agree. The voice from Nantucket.
But the rating should not be optional. I'm also thinking for, hopefully the next GC will use this, right? And so we're sort of setting a foundation of the expectation. So that's why I'm asking these kinds of questions.
You're not on this for life? For the next-
No, didn't I say when I signed up, I already had calculated when I was done?
Yeah, the other thing, I don't know if it's in there either. I think the signature should I guess nobody wants to make it mandatory, but it at least has to be option.
And so, the signature. Because, so it's not anonymous?
Correct.
Why do we have-
I always sign any kind of evaluation. I just don't think, I think
Okay.
it's, you can take cheap shots if you don't.
Okay.
Nope, I wouldn't do it in this case,
Okay,
or in any case.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody else needs to sign it, but I think we should, the GC should.
Yeah, GC
Fine.
should, I think it's nice for staff to have anonymity. I think that's a helpful accountability tool. That's the only one that I think is fair to have anonymous. Everyone else, I think, they can say their name.
that, the settings, but I'll also put a signature line here as well.
Thanks for doing all this, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. I like.
It took me a lot longer to figure.
Then you'll have to change the top. Or there's the description and it says reasons for rating and quotes
So,
at the very.
okay, thank you.
And it also says the data collected will be reviewed by. I guess that's just. We're both filling it out and then reviewing it together. And
Right. Right, so everyone fills it out and then you come together and it's like, well, what did, you said this and I said that, and what's our middle ground, or why did you interpret things that way? It leads to a discourse.
So I feel pretty good about the tool. The process. From here on out, is pretty clear in the contract. There's a piece of the contract that's obsolete that involves Will giving us an evaluation form in hard copy. We're planning to do it on Google Sheets, I believe. Right, that's why Tanya's doing all this.
So we're gonna use
So
the,
we're gonna use Google Sheets,
and then we'll,
Google Forms,
it's forms, and then we can
Forms.
convert the data to a sheet if we want to,
okay.
like a spreadsheet if we want.
Does that compile all the comments?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, with the
Some
person's
very long
name, that's
cells.
not, yeah,
Yeah,
well, I'll set it up so that they wrap for us.
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Okay.
So, except for that obsolete part, that means no later than the Friday of the second full week of December. That's very specific. You'll schedule a mid-year performance evaluation with us.
Mhm.
You'll provide us each with your own self-evaluation using this form. And we will come and have a conversation, kick you out, have our own inside conversation, and then give you a written evaluation based on all that.
And it's for the time for that, did you say
December.
December? Okay,
The
it.
Friday of the second full week,
got it,
so almost surely the third Friday.
got it.
Will be a rare 2 out of 7 months would be the second Friday. And then you schedule a meeting with us no later than the Friday of the third full week of April, which is either the fourth or the third Friday of April, for a final annual performance evaluation. That's what's in the contract. How's it sound, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, all
I
right,
just have to remember.
yep. Just have to remember, actually, it's probably a calendar app somewhere that could help with that. We might be done. Is everybody,
What's the December date? So
it's the Friday of the second full week. It doesn't have to be on that date. It has to be by that date.
And it sounds like, since we meet the second Thursday, then we're probably going to attend to it during that meeting or in a special session.
Well, like 8 days later is what. It could be as late as 8 days later.
I keep thinking you're gonna say the Friday of the full moon.
I keep wanting to say that.
Wow. All right. We did not, talk much about this. But this is my simultaneous school goals and professional development plan sort of wrapped up into one, sort of, because I think that they're two cross paths enough where it just made sense to me. Some of them are the same as they were the year before, but there's a lot of different ones. For example, all of these are new.
Okay.
And then I,
11, does that not duplicate one that I just read up above? Keep going. There you go, number 2.
so there's, wait, I'm gonna check that one again, which is that 11. Oh yeah, so the one is specific about the funding and the renovation timeline, and the other one is for, I can remove improvements.
Yeah,
How about
okay.
that?
Documents in there.
No,
Okay,
this is for
One through
review,
10.
and then once we come to an agreement on this, I'll send it to everyone.
We've seen 1 through 10 before, though.
Yeah,
Or has that changed?
there's changes, like, so one, for example, this is different.
Previous years.
Yeah, once we run through this and there's no objections, yeah, then I'll put it in the shared drive.
Meeting with all educational leaders. That's Cobra, Silver, and Western.
Cobre,
Who you can-
Silver, Western, GMS, Calvary Christian, occasionally El Grito, and other entities.
All these people come together, you don't go separately to each of them.
No, we all meet once a month and chat about common Grant County educational needs, concerns, et cetera. Yep. Yeah, but it does involve driving, or else it's one of those things that just doesn't happen unless someone says, we're meeting on this date at this time and we'll supply the food or whatever.
Does Cliff show up?
Not often. Cliff is represented by typically Will Hawkins from Sober Consolidated. Occasionally, all folks bring guests, and that, would not be uncommon for a principal from a school to join from Cobra or Silver.
I'm sorry to butt in here. Is it essential that I continue to stay on in this meeting?
No,
I'm kind of
No.
confused as I'm missing what
This- This is what sorry, I wasn't sharing the screen. This is the document that we're looking at. That is my professional development plan and general goals for the school in one spot. There's 15 items.
do we have that document or no?
Not yet, since I wanted to give the opportunity for input before it's finalized.
I see. I'm sorry. I was not sure what was
Oh.
happening.
No fault on you of any kind there.
what do you want from us about this, Will? Ideally,
Just setting annual goals, if there's things that you think should be put in here or removed from in here.
How did this get devised from?
I just created it. It's a requirement.
how many do you both got on?
15. And it's tough, and it doesn't really follow my ideal formula, which is a goals and objectives formula, because some of these are objectives. And in my mind, the two are very compartmentalized and different, where like the goal, to put it in a very generalized, maybe esoteric perspective, is like to have Aldo be the best school that it can be. And these are all the objectives that work towards that goal, because these are all things that you either have done them or you have not.
Right.
And so I think that's helpful from an assessment standpoint from the governing council. So if you have this document at the beginning of the year, when we're doing the mid-year review, you can be like, well, what has been done to improve the curriculum organization? What has been done to develop new substitute teacher training?
well, that's part of what I meant by asking what you want from us. I
Yeah.
was thinking of, in terms of editing this.
Sure.
Although that's valuable that you said that.
Right.
I was thinking of, what kind of, do you want us to quiz you on this every month, or when it occurs to us, or?
I think it's a helpful tool in concert with the evaluation tool that we just created, of like, this can help to be like, all right, so that evaluation tool with minor tweaks, as we just learned, can apply for most years of a director. This is specifically for 26, 27. So it could help when we're having the conversational part of the evaluation. Someone from the governing council might want to look at this and be like,
Yeah.
well, was there weekly leadership teams? Like a meeting with, all the leadership members within Aldo.
I found myself unable to answer, I mean, just to ascertain whether it had been met, but it was useful for me to know, wow, this guy's got a lot of things he has to attend to, and there's a whole structure for his decision process. So
Well,
valuable notes.
Can I also, make a recommendation if you're asking us for recommendations? I think for evaluation purposes, it would be really helpful to have each of these objectives align with a goal. So I'm not sure if you can just grab the titles and say, okay, this chunk of 4 fit under this one, this chunk of 3 fit under that one. Because then it becomes, then we get to do what Harry was just saying, where we can say, okay, we're evaluating you on this with using this instrument that we just came up with. Here are the objectives that are gonna help us have evidence that you, that.
Yeah. Nice,
Does
look at
that-
that. Ooh. Check the self-referential thing is gonna make me freak out.
Just do what I mean.
Should be number one. That'll be that one.
I wanna know, what does that link to?
Which one?
16,
16?
yeah, where is that in the evaluation process?
We're getting really meta now. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I feel like this could almost be posted like on your office wall and you just occasionally that things off. I think you'll really get every time you got.
The other thing that these types of things are good for, I find, because we have to do these every year at the university, same kind of idea. And it's good because when it's pants on fire time, and somebody comes to me and their pants are on fire and they're like, I need you to do this thing, I can say, which one of these does it fit under? Because this is what I said I was saying.
Yeah.
Not that you,
I feel like when someone's lying, with their pants are on fire, and when it's urgent, their hair is on fire.
okay, when their hair is on
Okay, all
fire.
right. thank you.
Well, and part of this is helpful.
If you lie enough, though, you.
Yeah, it spreads. The fire spread.
I guess when it hits the fan, that's what I.
Yeah.
Say. When it hits the fan. Not to say you can't put out fires, because you'll have to, right? But there might be some times too, when you need to protect yourself from Will Hawkins or another community leader who's asking you to maybe do so. I don't know if that happens, but I can just, anyways, I'm just saying these documents are good for 2 reasons, right?
Yeah. Well, and part of my thought for this is, given that we're in the part 2 of the July GC meeting, is this is helpful to get the GC input of like, well, you are oversee, what do you, like, is this on track with what you think the goals for the year should be, both for the school and for my own development? Rather than just me on an island doing it myself and thinking, oh, here's what I think is best.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's purely for the sake of, review, input, whatever. And to have an idea that, to have it on the wall. And then when there's a governing council meeting in November, we can revisit some of these things, just like how you would, right?
Like that midterm
Right.
review.
Okay, I have one.
Yeah.
Math,
Oh, math.
Yeah.
feels like that should be a goal.
It should be a goal.
Okay, it's the improved.
And I don't know where to tie in staffing. What?
Do you like to use?
Really?
arithmetic
Why?
instead of math?
Paul told me that math is not the right. Paul Aguilar.
It should be the other way.
The
Paul,
opposite.
Yeah.
Paul Aguilar said it's always arithmetic.
No, it's always meant.
Paul, if I misspoke there, that was not fair for you to say. I don't know if you always say that. I could be wrong. I'll say math.
It's
Yeah, it's what you're.
it's what you.
Paul might be stuck in elementary school design.
Hey, folks, I'm gonna step out. Can you send me this document when you're you're finished with it? Because I'm better to
For sure.
digest it on my own time.
Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate you.
Thank you,
calling.
Alex.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Is this something we're supposed to,
No, this is just for,
and same with the directory evaluation? That is not an action item on the.
Yeah, good question. I mean, we're adopting it. We're saying this is what we're gonna do.
well, and it's an action item in the sense that we built it while we were discussing it.
Yeah, that's a good
Like,
question.
we don't need to make a motion because.
Yeah, because Alex left,
I
and
do
so I'm
believe we do.
assuming we don't need to approve that.
Well, we could, I mean, we still.
It's
have
an
a
easy thing to
quorum,
do.
so we could-
Well, yeah.
It's true.
Okay.
Publicly noticed meeting.
I think we're fine.
I think this is good enough for now, at least.
Yeah.
This is a working, this is not like a, etched in granite or anything.
Yeah.
This is a working
exactly.
document, yeah.
Also, I mean, if you're. Thinking about, maybe chunking them into the categories the 6 categories that are there. Maybe there could be a template for that, and so every year kind of,
No, I like, jokes aside,
right? I mean, maybe just put it there as a note to yourself, right?
And Will, I do think it would be useful that second document of your personal goals, if you sent that, just distributed it to the GC, just for our knowledge, not for any evaluative purposes, I think that would be good. It looks like you're still working.
After connecting it. Is that okay, yeah?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I
That's
don't know
less
what-
important,
Yeah.
that's less important to me, but I see why.
no one uses, forgot.
Yeah.
This group doesn't use Google. So I'll send it as a Word document in the email. That's fine. That way no one has to get into the Microsoft Google
And
dilemma.
how do you feel about the request to explicitly connect it to?
It's fine. I
That's
like
okay
that.
with you?
Well, yeah, I think that,
Okay.
well, again, thinking about what is gonna make things easier down the road, what are the systems that Aldo needs so that we don't have to have every July meeting of like, what's the evaluation tool? We have an evaluation tool and we can tweak that for each year, depending on what the focus of that year is. And then the director, whoever that happens to be, can design their goals and their professional development based upon what is going to, so then there's a natural
Yeah.
line there. And so then, myself or whoever else can just edit this each year, not have to reinvent it.
And
I like
kind of
it.
even
It's easy.
think the Valuation tool eventually probably could settle, and so it actually does look very much the same every year, and it's the objectives that change.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And the objectives are what kind of go in, not that they're gonna show up on the form, but that the director is gonna be able to fit the objectives in to the categories. And that just becomes a nice system.
Well, and some of those goals you would accomplish in a year, and others are on the, and there isn't this like, oh, did that, don't have to do it ever again.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it's good.
Well, management by objective. MBOs.
Is there any further business to conduct?
I don't know if this is the time for it, but I think to everyone's joy and satisfaction, I'm sure that we're going to have another special session next week for closing approval tasks as per the request of our legal counsel. I don't know, that can be one in which occurs fully remote. It can be one, I think it's one that will be, if you recall, in May, we had a special session in the conference room up here to approve a resolution. And now we have to approve, the governing council has to approve an addition to the resolution.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what it is. I have the document. I can share it with everyone for their review. And Sue, much like our lawyer, Sue Fox, much like how she did in that previous May special session, would like to also present where things are at on that from her side as well. And since nothing else is on the agenda, I won't go any further than that. Is that, I don't know if that's the appropriate, if this is the
Yeah,
appropriate
no,
time for that. So, yeah.
We definitely need.
So you should be looking at our calendars.
Not available Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Okay.
And,
Um,
Yeah,
Let's-
maybe give a Wednesday.
I think that would be best.
Afternoon or evening, and I would be in the car, so it depends on where there's service.
Well, if I send the document out to everyone, theoretically, it can be remarkably brief because not much is.
It could also be that I don't make or break the plan. Like,
Well, it's
out-
gonna be tough for all of us, I think.
Okay.
I'm also gonna have a hard time Wednesday through Saturday. But, I mean, I can call in presumably.
yeah, Tuesday in the afternoon could possibly work, but remotely,
Will it be ready?
you can't on Tuesday in there.
Well, we can't do Monday because we're not gonna have the appropriate Open Meetings Act time
Right.
to get that out there. I think Wednesday is probably the best. I don't know if there's a time of day that matters a ton. To me, I have a meeting at 11 that I do not want to miss, and I can be flexible besides that.
Can we do very first thing in the morning? Just because we're gonna be driving from
Wednesday?
San Diego, and so we can just do before we start.
No, actually, that's perfect for
the
me.
teaching a STEM camp and have to be there at 8:30. So the
So
whole,
we do it at 7:30,
7:30.
When is that in California?
California time, 6:30.
it would be 7:45, so I have to drop my kids off at swim team.
That actually is ideal for me, not even, that'd
So
be amazing.
Wednesday at 7:30,
Let me
7:45.
7:45, thank you.
Okay, 7:45 is good. I'm gonna confirm that with Charter Law Office. And then I will, when I send out to the governing council after this, the professional development plan, I'll also include the updated resolution. There's more facilities things to discuss, but that's not on our agenda, so I will refrain.
And you'll send us
Sure. Sure.
You can always give us information, we just can't take action, because
Okay.
that wasn't on the agenda.
Okay,
If you want to give us information.
it's probably worth knowing. So we finally got the contract from our contractors for the improvements of Jose Barrios.
Mhm.
And following a conversation with the contractor, Mevicon LLC out of Las Cruces and Sue, we're deciding to break it up into two contracts of smaller amounts as a phase one and a phase two, so that it is easier to utilize the NMFA funding for the improvements and the capital outlay funding for the improvements, as both require different documentation. By using the capital outlay funding for the improvements of Jose Barrios, we have to use the PSFA forms. For using the NMFA funds for the renovations, we can just use what is a PED approved contract with the contractor.
Okay, so
And the NMFA has a fixed amount that they're giving us for the improvements, about $1 million. And so for the sake of keeping things clean, it makes sense to have a contract for that fixed amount and then use capital outlay for the other portion and sort of parse out when things occur. If that makes sense.
So just to be clear, one source will be for phase one and a different source will be for phase two.
Yeah, and it's all the same project. It just helps with the organization rather than have like this big 1.4 million dollar contract. We can have a $900,000 one that the NMFA will pay for, and then a $450,000 one that capital outlay will pay for.
So will phase one be an MFA?
Yes,
Okay. Got it.
and we can do them
I was
simultaneously.
gonna say, maybe
You can
phase is the wrong word.
phase is probably the wrong word. It's just a purely, yeah, you're right. Cause then it provides, phase comes with the implication that you cannot do the
Bingo.
second one. And we want them, they can occur simultaneously, but since the funding comes from different sources, it makes things a lot easier. And since we have this urgency to get the ball rolling, we can use the NMFA one starting August 1st. The PSFA one with capital outlay, because there's a new capital outlay project submitting thing called CAPS that you have to do, that we could do that in October, November, and it would make no difference. But this way we get the ball rolling. So we have the contractor agreement, we get the certificate of occupancy, and then we're good to go for school in the fall. So I just wanted to share that piece of information. No action needed on that, purely a informational update.
Sounds like a good suggestion.
Yeah, I think it will work. I
Okay.
think it will work well. I was worried that we were gonna get hung up in which of the
Yeah.
acronym bodies per documents we needed to use.
I
Yeah, so that's that.
was momentarily concerned because you can't legally split up a project to avoid procurement,
Oh, no, we're
Requirements.
well beyond.
because
procurement
it's a
anyway.
such a big project.
Yeah, we are well beyond it, yeah. Yeah, 60,000 is the procurement cutoff. Yeah. Beyond that, you have to has to be, and since Mevicon is already approved, doesn't matter. We don't have to do bids or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think let's run with 7:45 on the 22nd. I appreciate your flexibility on that, and I'll send out the updated resolution, and given the time frame of day, that should work for Sue as well. I sent her a message. I have not responded yet, but I don't want to hold anyone else up, and I have to approve something in our bank before 4 p.m. So
You got 7 minutes.
7
I have
minutes.
7 minutes, so I am complete.
Sure.
Hearing no further business, we are adjourned.
Okay.